welcome to day 5 of the X-Pyr 2018. We're still in Saint-Lary near turn point 5 at Bigorre, waiting for the teams to come through. And we woke up this morning to, well, cloud at ground level, drizzle, a bit of a miserable morning. It's breaking up now, we're starting to see holes in the clouds. We think that above us, in the tops, it's probably beautiful blue sky, and we're just in the sea of mist. So, an update on what happened yesterday. So, Maura is the big news. Maura made it to past Canigo yesterday. He managed to fly and he ended up the day near Peratallada in the flatlands. He had to spiral down in order to avoid the restricted zone that unfortunately was reimposed yesterday by the Spanish Civil Aviation Authority. At the last minute, Maura had to be informed in the air that that was the case, that he couldn't actually go into that zone. He managed to spiral down just in front of it and then walked but stayed the night, and he is currently approximately 14 or 15 kilometers from the Santa Elena de Rhodes. The guys there will be broadcasting live when he arrives, which should be around about 11 o'clock. Obviously that's an estimate, so keep tuned to the X-Pyr website and the X-Pyr Facebook page, and you can watch Maura arriving live at goal on day 5 of the longest X-Pyr that there's been. So now the battle for second place is taking on a completely new meaning. It's really exciting. Standa Meyer's come from very far behind to give Maxime Pinault a real run for his money. So we've not been able to catch up with Pinault very much in the last couple of days, but we managed to catch up with Jérémy Laguerre, his supporter, this morning, and he's given us an update on what's been happening with them for the last 2 days, and it's a thrilling tale. So Pinault got to turn point 5, not too late after Maura, but he flew up, and then because of low cloud and he was flying on the north side, which is very steep, you can't land there. He took 2 to 3 hours of just soaring up and down, trying to just get that extra bit to tag the turn point. And he had an extremely frustrating flight. Eventually he managed to tag the turn point and then fly around and get to Valuron. So that day he put in a huge amount of effort for not very much distance, but he battled valiantly. He ended up the night at Baqueira, which is a famous ski resort in the Spanish side. And when he woke up in the morning, he found that the wind was northeast, blowing about 50 kilometers an hour, and it was impossible to take off. So they walked slightly down in order to find a takeoff spot that wasn't quite so windy. And at 7:30 in the morning, he managed to get up and fly around, and the tailwind that they got managed to give them about a 15-kilometer bonus distance. So that made up for a little bit of the having to wait around. He then had to hike up 1,400 meters to get to other takeoffs, and he did lots of little flights in order to progress, and eventually managed to get to Pedraforca, turn point 6. So that then meant that he could get into the Serrania Valley. Now, the Serrania Valley is where he went to school. He went to one of the 2 schools in France where they actually do paragliding as an elective. So basically he was on familiar ground. Unfortunately, he encountered extremely strong winds. The story of Maxime's day yesterday was that he was constantly battling a headwind, so progress for him was frustratingly slow. He ended up walking up to the ski resort at La Molina, which is on the Spanish side of the Serrania Valley, and he made it to Puigmal, at which point, which is just the next, you need to cross a gap between the 2 mountains, and he was on Puigmal, which is in France again, but on the same side, on the southerly side of the Serrania Valley. And at that point he lost contact with his support crew. His trackers stopped working and they couldn't find him on his spot. And so Jérémy walked up to try and find him, and after an hour and a half got to him. And by that time it was nearly the stop time, so they found an old broken down refuge, which Jérémy described as basically just a pile of stones, full of snow, such holes in it that the wind was just howling through it. It was damp, it was uncomfortable, they didn't sleep much, but they hunkered down and stayed there the night. And this morning, having had not much sleep, he was walking again, trying to find a takeoff. It's very windy where he is, but he's progressing, and he's still ahead of Meyer, who's in third place. Now, Standa had a fantastic day yesterday. He just blasted along the course. I don't have that many details about what actually happened on his day yesterday. We're trying to contact a supporter, we're trying to get some actual first-hand news from the team, and we'll bring you that in our next update if we can. At the moment, he's in the car park at Pujmal, so he's not that far away. I think there's only I think there's about 20 kilometres, 18 kilometres in it. I can't give you exact figures because these things keep changing as they're racing. But I'll give you some statistics for yesterday so that you can see how it went for different pilots. So, hiking and flying yesterday, Maura covered 111 kilometres of distance. Pino did 117, De Vrijmen 130, Garza 68, Kelle 46, and Maya 188. So you can see the comparison of the distance that he did in comparison to others that he leapfrogged. So that's the top 6 at the moment. In 7th place now is Juraj Koren, and we'll try and give you some more information about him soon. So the big news is that you can follow or see Maura arrive live at Santa Helena de Rhodes in approximately soon, very soon, in the next few hours. Keep tuned. I'll give you a quick weather update for what's happening today. Where we are, near turn point 5, at the Pic de Bigot, the forecast is for north-northeast winds, about 15 kilometres an hour. There's still mist in the valleys. We don't have much forecast for precipitation. If there's going to be thunderstorms, they'll probably be this evening. An update in the Catalan weather, which is where the leading pack is. The Catalan forecast is for thunderstorms pretty much most of the day. This afternoon from midday onwards there's a weather warning for severe thunderstorms. They're predicting possibly 20 millimetres in 30... precipitation of 20 millimetres in 30 minutes. So it'll be a challenging experience for people to get to turn point 6. We'll bring you more on all the other athletes as we find it. We're just about to head off to Bigot to interview lots of other pilots and supporters, and we'll give you an update as soon as we've got one.